The statements, views, and opinions contained in this program are those of the individuals and not endorsed, nor do they necessarily reflect the opinions of Rosenbaum Communications and its sponsors.
Welcome to BluegrassHighSchoolSports.com and FayetteCountySchoolSports.com.
Welcome to the new place for local and regional high school sports talk and analysis in Central Kentucky. And thanks to our great sponsors, Jack Burford Chevrolet in Richmond, off the EKU bypass. Visit them online at jackburford.com. Express Roofing, they have you covered. Visit them online at expressroofing.net. Set up your free estimate now. Now, back to the show. This program is sponsored by Cumberland Valley National Bank and Trust. Visit their new location in Berea.
Welcome back to BluegrassHighSchoolSports.com and FayetteCountyHighSchoolSports.com. Well, we've talked football, we've talked boys basketball, and we are going to move it into girls basketball. Equal time, right?
Absolutely.
Title IX.
Title
Title IX, we're going to go with it. So, give us your top 5 of girls basketball.
11th Region girls. I believe the top team is Franklin County. They're 6-0. And from every coach I've talked to this year, they're the consistent number 1 in the region right now. What do you know much about Franklin County? Any numbers on them?
No.
Size?
Franklin County was 25-7 last year. They have 2 outstanding players. Malika Frank, who's a 5'10 junior. She's being offered by Missouri, Illinois, and Western.
Mm-hmm.
And Princess Stewart, 5'9 sophomore, who is also being offered by Western and Florida State. So when you got 2 D1 players to build around, that's saying something right there.
And coming off a 25-7 season.
Right.
And one's a junior, one's a sophomore.
Right.
So they were
They're gonna be
sophomore,
around
freshman last year.
2 more years
So,
ago, right.
Everybody seems to think Franklin's going to be the team to beat when it comes March. Number 2, I have Lafayette. 6-4. They've struggled a little bit early, but they do have 2 D1 players of their own in Ashanti. What's her name?
Shante
Thomas
and D. Gibbons.
She signed with Penn State, and D. Gibbons has signed with Western. So,
Right. Lafayette's got 3 of their top 4 players back, and they were 28-4 last year.
they went to the
and
state.
the Thomas kid is 6'4".
They went
You
to
got
the
a
region
girl that's
last year.
6'4" at the high
Yeah,
school
God.
level. I mean, that's really something to build around. So,
And her and D. Gibbons are both average about a double-double last year.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
We saw them play last year, and I mean, they are tough to handle, you know. And I said Lafayette won the region, and they went deep in, didn't they go Final Four? Were they a Final Four team last year in the state?
not sure about that.
Not either. I think they did. They at least won 1 game in the state tournament that I can remember. Number 3, I have Dunbar, 7-1. Now, I saw Dunbar play Mass Southern the other night. They go about 8 deep, but they are 7-1. They have a nice guard in, I believe her name was Ikidara. I can't remember her first name, but at 7-1, they are fast, they're quick, and I have them at number 3. So,
Well, Dunbar lost the Brooke Todd kid.
Yes, they lost a lot.
Went to Moorhead. It was Greg Todd's daughter. Greg is now the head coach at Moorhead, so she followed him up there. And so she was a regional player of the year and outstanding player. So they're kind of put the pieces together for a new puzzle.
yep. I think
they were 25-8 last year and lost to Lafayette in the regional
Yes.
finals.
I think they've been to the regional final like 3 years in a row, I believe they told me. Went to state tournament once. So at 7-1, I think, you know, they've got a potential to be there in March. Right now I have them number 3. Number 4, I put Madison Southern. I will say I do see a lot of Southern girls games as we do on my Madison County School Sports Television. They're at 6-4 right now, so they've lost a couple games. You know, they lost 3 games really close, and they lost yesterday in the Berea tournament and finished 6th. They have a couple kids, though, who can get you 25 points any night, though, in a guard in Kristen Hayes and inside player Brianna Lanham. So they're going to be a tough matchup for whoever they play come March.
They beat Scott County 71-69. They lost to Dunbar 42-38.
Yep.
George Rogers Clark beat them 53-49.
Clark County has a really nice ball player.
And then they lost by 3 points to Lafayette recently. So you know, they're a good solid squad.
They hit their free throws. As I said, if Hayes is on and Lanham is on,
Yeah.
they can play with
Tough.
anybody in the state, in the region anyway.
Yeah.
They lost by 3 to Lafayette, who is the number 2 team in the region by most people's minds, if not number 1.
Well,
So-
Coach Simmons said, they won 20 games last year. They were 20-8, and she's scheduled tougher this year.
Yeah.
And she said they may not win 20 games, but they're gonna use that schedule to get better and be ready for tournament time.
I'd
And
rather
they
win
need
14.
that.
Yeah, I'd rather win 14
need
games
that.
against a tough schedule and win 21 in a
Exactly.
weak schedule.
So that way they're prepared.
Let's
They're
talk
not just
about
happy with the
some
season.
of their other players too. You got Kelly Freeman, who's a senior,
Yep.
and she is a designated shooter. You've got Marley Lawson, sophomore inside. She's
Another
got
big
good
player.
size. She's
Another
about
big player
6'2".
inside.
And I've always said this is her breakout year. I think she's
Yep.
going to really come around. Samantha Parnes, who we have seen, if
can
she is
shoot.
on, she can light up a scoreboard.
And another player that helped inside is a transfer, I believe, from Pikeville, and Hannah King. Another good sized kid inside. So they got 3 quality inside players.
Sophomores and juniors, the
And
ones you just mentioned.
As we
most of them.
said, with Ashanti being 6'4", it's hard to match up with size for a lot of girls' teams. So
Actually,
Samantha's
dangerous.
a senior, but the other 2 are
Yeah.
young, and so they're
Samantha and Kristen are in Rachel Ramey.
nice guard off the bench for them.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
she can.
And she's accepted that role.
She
She was
knows
a
her
starter
role.
last year and accepted that role. Ashley Clark, who is an 8th grader,
Yep.
and is coming off the bench and giving
Believe
them
she's a freshman
some
this year.
minutes at the guard
Yep.
spot.
So I have them at number 4, and my number 5 team is Western Hills. I don't know much about Western Hills. They are 7-0 though, and I looked and they beat some decent teams. It wasn't. They had not played a easy schedule. So at 7-0, I had to put them at number 5. So don't know much about Western Hills. I couldn't tell you really one player on their team, but 7-0 right now is pretty legit. So I got them number 5.
Yeah.
So, but this region is up for grabs. Though I don't think Franklin or Lafayette, either one, are going to be the runaway number 1 team in the region.
Well,
So
a couple other teams to keep our eye on for the region is Henry Clay. They've got 3 guards and 4 seniors back from last year, and they've got good size. Their best player is a Livers, 5'7" junior, and then Catholic returns 5 seniors.
yeah.
So you never can count them out.
Yep. So it's going to be a pretty exciting year in the region. I mean, this could be the year we see a dark horse win the region. Because as we said, all it takes is one upset in the regional tournament. Say Franklin gets beat in the first, second round, and you could have a surprise team win it. So
Well, tell us what you know about Madison Central. We've talked about Southern.
Central is fairly young. They have 1 senior in Raven Kane, and they have a hard time right now scoring points. I mean, I talked to Coach Cooksey and Coach Lakes yesterday, and at the Brea tournament, they were getting 33, 36 points, and they put 50 up on Boyle County, which I think they were surprised by, but they're having a hard time scoring right now. But defensively, they're really good. They got to transfer him. I think her name is, how would you say her name? Molly Cornett?
Mallie
Mallie
Cornett.
Cornett. Mally's another of them girls, if you want to talk about moving a lot, she starts at Model, goes to Catholic, and is now at Madison Central. She is 6'1", 6 foot, and she is averaging 7 blocks a game for them. So that is huge for Madison Central to have her right now.
Well, the thing that has impressed me about her, number 1, she has just a good basketball mind.
She does.
She knows where to be. She knows what to do. She moves well without the ball. She's got great hands.
She's having like 8 rebounds
If
a
they
game.
throw it in her area, she's going to catch the ball. And she's got terrific touch around the basket. She's blocking like 7 shots a
7
game.
shots a game.
So she has
And
really
scoring
been a good
15 a
addition
game.
for them.
And of course, they have returning starters in Lindsey Johns and Emily Willoughby is the point guard. She's a junior. If they can ever start scoring points,
Yeah.
they could be dangerous to some teams later on this year. I don't know if they're going to be good enough to win the region, but right now everybody thinks Southern is probably the best team in the 44th. So
Central
They
just
may
doesn't
give-
seem to have a lot of height in the middle.
Central
Can't get it
6-3, other than
Central.
Cornett.
Cornett.
I mean, it's,
Yeah.
but that 6'1" girl is. I mean, that's
But-
been a while since they've had somebody that's.
They really
well, since Feldhouse, Ashton Feldhouse,
Yes.
And then they had Bosley's sister.
and LaQuisha Bosley.
Should Sade or whatever.
Sade Bosley.
Not Bosley, yeah.
I said though, Southern's got the 3 post players, so they're gonna have a hard time matching up on them.
Coach
Yeah.
Cooksey is really high on the Cornett girl. She's just a sophomore, and he
Yep.
thinks that she's going to be a real prospect
Oh,
by the time she graduates.
She could be a big time D1 player, perhaps. I mean, she can play some D1 basketball.
Well,
They
they
were-
had some not come back. I mean, they're missing
There's a
few
couple
players,
kids that
you know.
went on to do
False
other
girl
stuff.
didn't come
Yeah.
back, and
I believe Emily Fultz is a cheerleader now.
She
and,
is.
You know, and so.
Well, they were 15-15 last year.
Yeah.
And
Won the
but
district.
they beat Southern in the district when they got hot from the 3-point line.
Yep.
But I still see that as their major weakness of
Yep.
you know, when you're looking at the total package. They don't shoot the ball well.
They don't score, and they don't, you know.
Well,
that goes
they
into-
won the other night on with 11% shooting. It was 10-10 at halftime. When
Garrett
they beat,
County. They beat Garrett County. It was 10-10 at half.
Wow.
yeah, beat them 33.
I think they scored 33 points.
Yeah,
Yeah.
33-28. I mean, that is. I mean,
You're not
that's
going to beat many teams
No.
scoring 33. I mean, that's just.
like I was watching a 6th grade game or something.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean,
that's
I couldn't imagine 11% shooting. You know, but the other team, obviously, as you said, their defense kept them in the
But
game, and they were
defensively, I
able
think,
to
yeah, they can keep
pull it
in.
together. They'd be very, very hard to watch.
You know, UCLA would have taken 11% the other night.
Absolutely.
First half against Kentucky.
Hey, you want to talk about a team that has? They went on a 10-0 run against Boyle County last night. So
Yeah.
that was something else. I was shocked by that. They went on a 10-0 run. They ended up losing 54-50, but.
But they really struggled against, was it GRC last week?
They
They've
hung
got
around
those
with them until
two
the middle
big
of the third
centers that
quarter.
really-
GRC had a girl
Yeah.
named Skinner inside who
Yeah.
signed with
They struggled.
VCU, Virginia Commonwealth.
Yeah.
And she's a candidate for Miss Basketball.
They couldn't get it in the
A
basket.
lot of teams going to struggle
anywhere.
with them. So,
Yeah.
but like I said, size is going to be their big problem all year long.
Yeah.
Besides Cornet, they're going to have a hard time matching up inside. So,
Yeah.
But
Any
the-
other girls basketball we want to talk about?
Well, we got our other two district teams if you want
Talk
to
about the
talk
41st
about Berea
district.
and Model.
Berea's coming on their third coach, I believe, this summer. I know Jeff Cornett resigned in the summertime, and I think Jerry Bingham took the job for like a week, and
He
then
took it through the summer until the middle of August, and
Yeah.
then he resigned right before school
and
started.
then they hired a guy from East Jessamine, I believe, and something happened to him.
I don't know why he left, but
I don't either.
Brittany Calhoun was the last
Calhoun's
last
there
one
now.
standing.
She's there now. She was at the Berea tournament, so
She
Brittany Calhoun's
graduated from Southern in
Yes.
2009,
She's awful young.
and she just graduated from Union in the spring. So now she's a first-year coach and a head coach
Yep.
in the same year. So
Wow.
that's really a
Well,
challenge.
Who coached them last year in the tournament? Because they did.
Jennifer Cornett. She was one of my former players at Madison Central. She resigned in the summertime. She wants to spend more time at home with the family. and
Right.
I've heard she may want to get into administration at one point. So
Yeah, I thought she did a great job with
She
the
did.
team and the players that she had to work with. So, but they're, Berea's got 1, 2, 3, 3 8th graders, a couple
Yeah.
of freshmen.
they're always
Well, they've
young.
only got 8
seniors.
players total.
Yeah. There you
Oh,
go.
wow.
So
And the same thing with Model, who's in the district. They're very, they've only got, they're not playing a JV schedule. Model is not. So they struggled last season. They won 7 games last year, I believe. And said, and well, for Madison Central, so Casey Snide played at Model at one point in her career, and now Cornett's at Central. So Model's having a hard time keeping their kids. So
Well, Bobby Story said that this year they do look like a varsity basketball team. Last year they looked more like a middle school team
Like
when
a
they were out on
JV,
the floor.
yeah.
But Haley Hunt and Abby Vickers
I remember Haley
are
Hunt,
their two best players probably. Emily Jackson is a good post presence for them, and
2
they're
sophomores.
looking to improve. They were 7-17 last year, so and they've already I don't know what the record is right now, but I've seen where they
3 and 5.
They
3 and
beat
5.
us.
Okay.
And they're not playing world beaters. They're not going to play Catholic in them teams. But right now for them young kids, they need wins to get that confidence
That's
going.
exactly right.
And their main thing is they're not thinking about their region. They're looking at the All A. If they could somehow or another get to the All A, that would be their state tournament. So anything, 7 wins. I say they're shooting for 10 this year. Realistically, that'd be a good season for them with that young lineup he has.
Well, like I said, I don't know their schedule, but
So I've looked
they're
at
going
it.
to be better.
They're going to be better. And the schedule looks manageable, so they should win some games.
All right. Well, that's enough about girls basketball. Let's talk some college basketball. That's really a lot more fun, right?
Well, before we get to
Fun basketball.
the teams everybody want to talk about, let's talk about
Yeah.
EKU first.
Yeah.
EKU had the upset of upsets for the university. They went down to Miami, Florida, beat the 18th ranked Hurricanes. I believe that was the first win over a ranked team in school history.
And this
No.
town was
First
lit
time
up,
since
wasn't it?
1959.
And then I
Yeah.
heard 59.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
That
they,
NC State with that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I wasn't at that game, so I
But
don't
this
know.
town was excited.
It was awesome. I listened to it on the radio. Couldn't get it on my computer. It was driving me crazy.
I'll watch it
but,
on the computer. If I wasn't so poor, I'd have burnt my couch. But I decided, was it worth burning the couch or So I was not
No.
against it, but
You started tweeting and Facebooking and everything, and
Yeah.
that was a good.
I was
game.
looking for a couch.
And it wasn't like a last second shot. They beat
They
them
beat
like,
them by 28.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
it
They
was,
went in 13-point
Impressive.
underdogs.
72 to
28.
44.
The
72.
thing with Coach Newbar's teams this year, he is going to shoot the three. I think they're shooting 33s a game. So when he's hitting, they're going to be dangerous.
Yeah.
And see, they had just lost to East Tennessee State
That's
at home
right.
before they went down there.
They lost by 3.
And they were down by like 13
Yes.
with 2 or 3 minutes left, and bang, 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 they were
The
right.
three-point
back in it,
shot
so-
is an equalizer. It puts you back in games.
I was at that East Tennessee State
Yeah.
game, and they had 2 players
Yeah.
that were really, really. I mean, you're talking about 3-point specialists. One of them hit 9 threes in
Yeah.
that game.
Yeah.
Eastern was down 18 with 7-something to go.
Got
Came back and had the ball down to less than a minute to go.
Yep.
Couldn't get it done, but really made a good comeback. They've lost to some quality teams. Valpo beat them.
Yep.
And Valpo's got a
Valparaiso.
Peters kid that hit about 7 or 8 threes that game.
That was a close game. Again,
It
we were
was.
down and we made the run.
2-point game.
And Valparaiso had just beat Murray State by like 35.
Valpo's for real.
Valpo is a really good team. That's a team to watch out for in the tournament. But Eastern, though, coming off the last season's OVC title run, they can make the run again.
Well,
So
actually, the last 2 years is the best 2-year period in Eastern men's
is.
basketball history. They've won more games in
Yep.
that period than any other time. And I was at St. Louis when they played Kansas in the NCAA tournament. Awesome game.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they had Kansas shaking in their boots.
Well, I think that if you haven't been to a game in a while at Eastern, you need to come.
You need to
because
get
some
up
of
to
the
Alumni.
changes at
The
Alumni
new
Coliseum,
floor?
it is
Got a new floor.
absolutely
Yeah.
gorgeous.
it's a new attitude up there now. It's
Yep.
they expect to win every time they hit the floor.
Yeah.
That's something Coach Newton, and the coach staff's put on to them.
And when you get into that NCAA tournament, get a little cut of that pie, it gives you a little money to
gives
do the
you-
things you need to. But new
It
lights,
Yes.
a new start to each game. I mean,
Yep.
it's big time.
Got
now.
the
They're
big
turning-
board now,
Yep.
which
Yes.
David Park was, he was really proud of that before he passed. David Park was
he
big time on it.
instrumental in that.
And EKU's playing well. The other team, I believe there's a team in Lexington.
Can't imagine who that would be.
Transy.
Transylvania's on a roll. I mean, Kentucky's on a roll right now. 24-0 against UCLA the other night.
It's embarrassing, isn't it?
Had UCLA ever done that before? I've never
No.
seen a UCLA team play so poorly. Did they play poorly, or was it UK?
Just so good.
I think mostly it was UK.
Honestly,
UCLA
I
missed
think
some
it was.
shots early in the game, but Kentucky has a lot to do with people missing. I mean, they're holding opponents to about 30% from the field.
I was going to say, was it under 40% or under something that teams have been shooting against them?
30% right now.
And they've been winning by 10 plus every game. And I mean,
This is the first time they've ever started off 12-0, and each game's been by double digits.
yeah. We're talking UCLA. No, we're not talking East Tennessee State. We're talking UCLA.
Kansas.
I don't care how down UCLA is. They are still the Bruins. And they beat Kansas like that. They beat North Carolina. They beat Texas.
And the true test will come Saturday, right?
And Saturday they have Louisville.
The 27th they play Louisville, and that's going to be a good game. I don't know what's going to happen with the outcome of it, but I'm not scared yet. You know what I mean? I don't think.
Aren't you usually a little nervous?
Well, I mean, it's going to
You
be
don't
good
feel
because it's in
nervous.
Louisville, but I just think
Yeah.
that, everybody's like, when Louisville played Ohio State, they're like, oh, gosh,
Yeah.
Louisville's really going to give them a run for their money, but Ohio State played absolutely horrible. I mean, they
Yeah.
couldn't dunk it right.
Yeah.
And then they wound up just winning by 5 or 6 points, but
The thing,
Well, Ohio State turned around and got beat by North Carolina, too. So
Absolutely.
Ohio State's kind of.
Ohio State's not
Up and
playing
down right
top right now, is it? Really, the best two teams in America have got to be Kentucky and Duke. They seem to be most consistent. Arizona's pretty good, it seems like. But it's Kentucky and Duke right now.
I'll tell you what, Louisville, I'm interested to see how their pressure affects Kentucky Saturday.
That's
and,
it.
And, Kentucky's guards are as solid as can be, but they can be forced into turnovers. Eastern forced them into 18
They did.
turnovers in that game. And they also are able to penetrate. Their guards, the Jones kid and the Rozier, those are both guards that can get into paint, create things. And the way they shoot the three, Louisville in the Young
That's
Center.
the problem.
I think
You have to defend
Kentucky's
that three.
really going to have to earn their win Saturday.
Yes.
One thing go about Kentucky, you can't put them in foul trouble.
No.
They go 12 deep.
yeah,
I mean,
you're not going to be able to pick on one
You're not
particular
gonna- yeah.
person.
go get Carl Towns. Well, okay, they got two more that's going to come in after them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and really, no big drop off. I mean, there's a drop, but not a big drop off. So,
Well, and when you talk about that, Calipari, you got to give him credit. He has really changed the whole face of collegiate basketball. We're not, and look at the difference in just a year. What a year can make. How we were talking about this team this time last year, and just so down on them. And look where they ended up. And then this year, a whole year later, we're talking they're going to win it all. They may not even lose a game. But then we think about at this time next year.
How many
look
kids
at
are going to be gone?
How many are going to be gone? But he's got that many coming back in, possibly.
Well,
So
I think the key to the success this year is having some players with some experience.
Yes.
You know what I mean? We've got some people
You
that have
need
been
them
here
to.
2
back.
or 3 years, and they needed to come back. They obviously needed to come back, and they'll continue to get better. I hate that they lost Poitras, but I mean, he was a junior. You know, you got Cauley-Stein. You know, you got some players that have been here and they've been through the
Harrison
program.
twins
They know
again
it. They're
came back.
sophomores. You know, they'll. So to me, that's the biggest key in the success so far this year. Last year, everybody's talking 40-0. And I wouldn't be surprised. I don't want to. I think that if they can get past Louisville, to me, the next biggest test with them would be either Florida sneaking up on them or Arkansas. Those are the teams that I
Arkansas.
think
That's who it'll be.
that can beat them at some point. Arkansas got them twice last year.
About Tennessee.
And I just can't. I don't think they got enough depth. I don't
It's
think
at
they
Tennessee,
don't have
isn't
I'll tell you,
That's our place to play.
the SEC, when you go on the road, there are no guarantees. Even with a
Kentucky's been
team
beating
like
Vandy,
Kentucky.
And like you said, Arkansas.
The Achilles heel for Kentucky is if they shoot the ball like they did against UCLA, I don't think anybody
Yeah.
can
No.
touch
The
it.
Booker's
If they
hitting.
shoot the ball away against Columbia,
That's right.
then people can play with them.
But that's a trap game, though. They were overlooking that for you. I mean, they were overlooking Columbia, looking for North Carolina.
Buffalo played with them though, and then you had Columbia. And seems like to me they play according to who they're playing a little
They
bit
level
down.
the competition.
Columbia, Buffalo, so on. But
yeah.
they get up for the big games, and they'll be up this Saturday for Louisville.
I'm just hoping Harold don't take swings at us.
Well, if you watch the Louisville Western game, which I was watching the other day when
Randy.
that broke
That's
out,
our producer in the background, by the way,
Yeah.
talking.
there was a loose ball situation, and Harold goes on the floor, and when he gets up, he takes a swing at a Western player, barely missed his chin. It could have, he could have really been under some tough suspensions
He might have been
if
a
he had
2 or
landed
3
the
game,
punch.
as it is.
But I tell you what, I got a kick out of that, and it's just because this is the way I see it. The referee came to help his buddy hit the other one in the neck. And
He got elbowed somewhere. didn't he, or
Yeah,
something?
it wasn't by one of the players. It looked like the
Everybody
ref
thought
came in and
Harold
tried
hit
to.
him.
Yeah, and it wasn't. I think it was his buddy getting on him for all the calls he'd blown already this year.
Yeah.
Because he fell backwards.
Something was
but
going on.
that's not anything you ever want to see in a game. But Patino, he'll handle that. Good, bad, or
That's
indifferent.
good though for the game. Now, if Harold wasn't playing that game, Kentucky'd been favored by a bunch.
Well, they've got a game Tuesday night.
And he suspended one
Louisville
game. They
does.
play tomorrow night. So, do you want to play Louisville at full strength or without Harold? If you're Kentucky, you want to play them at full strength. So,
strength.
if you beat them, you can say you don't want to
We
give
beat 'em.
Louisville an out.
Right.
Well, we didn't have Harold.
Yeah.
We didn't have this. So,
Right.
And the best part about this thing is it's not how you start, it's how you finish. We learned that last year at the UK team.
Bingo.
it's-
That's what I was saying.
it was all year long. It was you never knew what was going to happen, but when they started clicking, and then it's been pretty good ever since. But it's just one of those things that the Louisville, the UK Louisville matchup is always going to be a highlight of the year. Football's not been too competitive recently.
But it's always a
the
big
football
game.
team played them pretty
Baseball's
good. up to
always
the end.
huge
Sure,
when we play 'em and so
absolutely.
on. But here's my question: we come back next month. Is UK undefeated at this point next month?
I say yes.
I do too.
If I was gambling, I would say yes.
Yes.
Guess we'll find
But
out. I
anything can
believe
happen
Louisville
on a
will
given
get them.
night.
I think Louisville will beat them in the Yum Center.
So let me lead you to
You
this
think Louisville
question.
will beat UK Saturday?
I do.
Do you think other coaches will start recruiting the way Calipari is? Because
Here's a-
collegiate players typically won't go to a
Here's
school
a better
if there's
question.
already one
Here's a
person
better
playing
question.
that position that he knows he's not going to get to start.
All the UK fans says the NCAA hates us. It hates
Well-
Calipari. Will they change the rules to stop him from doing what he's doing?
And
Will you make it 2 years so that way he can't get the All-American team every
Right.
year?
Kentucky
Right.
this year is what the 2-year rule would make them look like every year.
That's right.
Yes.
I mean,
I
you
get-
think
yeah.
about that.
But
Calipari is such a marketing genius.
Yes.
I mean,
He's
the
good.
series you saw this weekend in Chicago, that's so he can keep North Carolina on the schedule and other teams on the schedule with not having to do a home and home with them.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, all of the things that he's done, he's really ahead of the curve on all the marketing and what he's stepped
got
out to
good
do.
people
And Roy
surrounding him.
Williams and Self and all these other coaches, you know, I mean, they have to look at him and admire what he's done, and they can only duplicate it the best they can. But really, what he's doing is he's getting these people to the next level at such an early stage, and that's what those kids come here for. We talk about.
Yeah. While they're young,
You're the
and
Triple A
hopefully
team.
while they're
It's
healthy.
a Triple A team right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, well, we saw what they did in Cancun against professional players.
Yep.
That way they can make money for their families.
I will say
Long
this,
road
though.
down the hall.
The talk of Kentucky beating an NBA team, I don't think was legit. I don't think Kentucky could beat the Sixers. As good as they are, I don't think they could beat the 76ers.
It'd be fun to watch though, wouldn't it?
Well, in,
I've heard
in
of-
Bahamas, you know, they played against
Yeah.
professionals, and one team actually beat them in the last game,
Yeah.
but that team is nowhere close to an NBA team
Right.
that they
Yeah,
were
no.
playing. So
You know, you are playing.
be
I
fun.
did hear, though, the spread, if there were to be a spread in that game early in the season, was 12 points for the 76ers. So, Kentucky fans, they're not going to be an NBA team, but they could run the table in college basketball.
And I think it depends on which NBA team.
You get the Lakers and Kobe Bryant shooting 100 times and missing, you may have a shot.
Any other collegiate teams we want to talk about?
You know, just get out and support them. I mean, there's a lot of good teams around here. Center College, in Georgetown.
Yeah.
You've got, you know, Transylvania, EKU. We'd love for you to come.
Not only that,
and see that.
Berea College.
Let me
You
tell
got
you
Berea
something
College.
else.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
6-2.
Let me mention another school that we haven't talked about yet. Kentucky Wesleyan.
yeah.
You know, Boss is over there lighting it up. He was the MVP of the tournament down there for them this weekend. So they've got a nice program.
Happy Osborne over in Owensboro. And the women's team. Kentucky has a nice women's program.
And they just that loss to Duke was hard.
It was. But they're ranked in top 10. I guess they will fall out
Yeah.
now, but they're a top 10 program.
And
EKU women.
they've been on the verge of losing. I mean, it was bound to happen. They've been out playing people, but they all came together
They've had-
this weekend.
they've
No
had
offense
two
or
or three
defense.
really good comebacks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They
And
came
so-
back against Louisville,
Yeah.
and that's, you know. And then the EKU women, you know, they're 5-5, I believe, somewhere like that. So get up and see a women's game. Sometimes the men and women, they'll play doubleheader, so make a day of the basketball at the gym.
Well, and I think it's important for those families that have girls. We have girls in our family. It's important to take them to go watch girls play.
Yeah.
We always talk, and it's a lot on television, and the media is always talking about boys basketball, whether it's high school or collegiately or NBA. There's not a lot about girls basketball, and we got to teach them. You can do whatever you want, you know, as a girl.
And, you know, Moorhead women, they have Greg Todd now. He's a local boy from Berea, so when EKU plays Moorhead, get up and pack alumni so all the Moorhead people don't come over, and that's just coming up here in a month or so.
And they will.
And that's what I
Moorhead
was going to
shows
say,
up.
traveling in the SEC with UK, you can get tickets about any game on the road because these venues, they very seldom have very many, you know.
A friend of
people.
mine bought tickets to Alabama when they go to Alabama, I believe, next month. So, and got decent seats.
Yeah.
Like you said, no, they don't sell out. So.
When
Yeah.
LSU and UK were playing in football, some people went down there and they were doing their Midnight Madness. They went there 2,000 or 3,000 people at their Midnight Madness thing at LSU.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it just goes to show you. But you can go to some of those venues and get some good seats and watch them on the road if you can.
Any of you going to try to get tickets to the SEC tournament?
The girls are playing softball that weekend. We were going, but down in Nashville will be a blast. We have rooms and everything, but
Yeah, it would be fun.
It is in Nashville.
Nashville
and,
this
year.
you talk about
Rooms may be
you
sold
talk
out
about
by now.
tough tickets to get.
Yeah.
You know,
And big dollar.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it's such a
Yeah.
small arena, but I mean, just being in Nashville is fun in itself. But you can hang out with 10,000 people right there outside the venue and go
any
from
local
place to-
establishment and
Well,
watch it.
once they
absolutely.
start losing, it'll be easy.
And once Alabama's gone,
Yeah.
and once whoever
Yeah.
is gone, then
Well,
things open
Bridgestone
up.
Arena has about 20,000 people.
It's
in
a good
that-
sized
in that-
stadium.
in
It's
that
a big arena.
Yeah, it's not very big at all, but it's. I would rather see it in it. I like to go to Atlanta.
I like Atlanta for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
when
we
they go to
talked
Atlanta,
about
I like
that
it.
earlier.
I'll tell you a fun time that if you want to go watch a lot of basketball on the weekend and get good seats is the OVC.
OVC tournament's
Down in
great.
Nashville, Memorial Auditorium downtown is where they have it, and it only seats about 5,500.
It's like
every seat
alumni.
is great.
It's alumni.
Yes.
It's better viewing.
Yes.
Which
I think you could take the whole month of March off. You could go do the SEC tournament because if
Yeah.
you look at where everything's set up this year, Final Four's in Indianapolis.
Yep.
But you could get to every
There's
venue within
no
6
good
hours
seat
of wherever
there.
UK
Yeah.
should be if they're seated properly.
It's a great idea.
And hopefully, well, you've got the month off being retired.
Oh, you got the money, so you give me the money and I'll
You
be
two
there.
go together. There you go.
Yeah.
Go together. There's no good seat in Indianapolis.
but what if we
Maybe
don't
we
have
can get-
we won't, you can't get time off here though.
Right, we got to get these guys to sponsors where we can,
We don't
get
get
some
the
press
time off
passes
here.
and
I'll
get in
ask
there.
my boss and see if I can get off.
There you go.
Yeah, we know who that is. All right. Anything else before we close up this show of our last one for the year?
Damian Harris is up for Mr. Football. When the announcement is made, it will be on our Facebook and Twitter pages. So be sure to follow that and get out and watch the high school basketball as it plays. I mean, these kids work hard. Doug knows how hard we work in the summer, and it's kind of depressing when you go to a basketball court and there's nobody there to watch you play. You know, you sweated and played hard, and there's 100 people there to watch you play. Come out and watch them play because they do work hard and play hard.
Spread the word about this program. Let your friends know it, and if we can get more, then we can do more. Obviously, and I'd like to go highlight some teams. We've talked about doing that, reaching out to some coaches and doing some special features on some people and some of the players and coaches, and so it's a good venue for us to be able to spread the word. It's really about the kids. We're out here giving our opinion, but these are all high school athletes, a majority of them that we're talking about, and it's
Nothing's meant malicious. It's just here to give our opinions and have a good time.
Thank you. And on that note, if you have any suggestions for us, what to talk about, what you'd like to see, send us an email.
Tweet us.
Tweet us, Facebook.
We're out there.
If you have anything bad to say about us, no, keep it to yourself.
Say it too.
Congratulations to the Madison Central Band for winning the state tournament
Yeah.
finally, and Garrett County for their win in the state band competition. A couple local programs that have done well. Central's been on the verge for several years, and Barton finally got them through, and they were able to win that. So
Well deserved.
congratulations for that.
Those kids work hard.
Sure do.
Work really hard. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. On behalf of our entire team and our two producers, the Rosenbaum brothers, we're going to give the shout out to Randy and Sean. They're working hard behind the scenes. We want to thank Jack Burford Chevrolet. They're our official sponsor. We kind of take over the dealership when we're here, so we really appreciate them allowing us to come in. And like I said, until January, this is our last show of the year. So Merry Christmas to everyone and Happy Holidays. And we'll
And I'm
see
driving
you
the
in
Corvette
January.
home. I'm the Corvette home.
You're going to drive the Corvette home?
I'm taking the Corvette home.
I better grab the keys. I know. Merry Christmas, everybody.
See you next time.
This program is sponsored by Cumberland Valley National Bank and Trust. Visit their new location in Berea. Thanks to our great sponsors, Jack Burford Chevrolet in Richmond, off the EKU bypass. Visit them online at jackburford.com. Express Roofing, they have you covered. Visit them online at expressroofing.net. Set up your free estimate now. And remember, you can always visit FayetteCountySchoolSports.com and BluegrassHighSchoolSports.com for all the latest information and links about your school. Thanks for watching.